Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee and today we are back on BooVille for another speed build video. Today we'll be making a big fall festival, which will be the last big build on this island, so let's get right into it. Alright, so for reference of where we're building today, we are building in the top left corner of the island, and this will include this whole section except for the peninsula. And the build will be starting on this little side street that is right behind two of the island rep homes, and it will stretch all the way back to the back of the island and a little bit over to the fall festival concert that we made in the last video. But let's get into the actual build, and I figured today while we build we can answer some of the questions. So I recently put out a post for you to all ask me some questions, so if you want to participate in future Q&As or other fun community content, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Alright, so the first question we have is, did you ever feel anxious promoting yourself when you first got started? So definitely yes. Well, I first started putting out Animal Crossing content on Instagram, and that was just pictures of some of my builds on Pebble, so that part wasn't too nerve-wracking because it was just pictures. But once I started making videos, I was pretty nervous to put out a video that I spent a lot of time creating, and then 1, for no one to watch it, or 2, to watch it and for people to leave rude comments. But honestly, it went a lot better than I could have even imagined. And I'm kind of going through a similar phase right now since I just started streaming, and that putting myself out there is even more from the videos. But my advice, if you want to create content of any kind, would just to do it, because if you never do it, you'll always think, what if? And there's nothing bad about just trying it out, and if you don't like it, you can just stop. But I would recommend at least trying it and seeing if you like it, because it might be something that you fall in love with and do for a really long time. Okay, on to the next question. Who inspired me to make Animal Crossing videos? So I have mentioned her a bunch of times on the channel, but it was Nina Tries. She had a stream last year where she was talking with her friend Kiraga, and they were giving out advice and just chatting a whole bunch. And I had mentioned that I wanted to start putting out content, but I was a little bit nervous because Animal Crossing had already been out for so long and I felt like I kind of missed the hype around it. But they encouraged me to do it because you can still build a community, and obviously there are still people playing the game. And I also watch a lot of Animal Crossing content creators here on YouTube, so people like Nina Tries or Melissaverse and Dahlia Crossing. They all make a lot of like building videos, which is the part of Animal Crossing that I actually like. And so they kind of inspired me to make the type of videos that I make currently. And then when I first started, I actually started with hard mode, the challenge that Nintendoc created, so I guess he kind of inspired me in a way to get started. It kind of gave me a good timing to jump in and start with a community, so yeah. Next up we have, will you ever do a Fairycore Island and future plans for themes? So I would definitely love to do a Fairycore Island. I think 2 of my current islands will have hints of Fairycore. Clover is a dark swampy island, but I wanted to have a little bit of like dark Fairycore vibes as well. And then Chroma, our stream island, is going to be a rainbow forest island, and that will definitely have hints of Fairycore as well. But I would love to do a typical like blue and pink themed Fairycore island, because I think they are so beautiful and they just look like a lot of fun to build. And then to answer the second part of your question for future plans for themes, I have like a whole list of ones that I want to try. So pretty soon I'll be starting a fall Farmcore island for a 14-day challenge. And then I also have always wanted to do a theme that I'm calling Grunge Graffiti. It will be like a trashy citycore island with lots of gray and graffiti designs with a bunch of like the punk rock villagers. And on stream we also talked about doing an Alaska themed island, because I will be going to Alaska later this week, which by the way I am super excited for. So I wanted to do one based off of my vacation, which I think having real life inspiration for an island is super fun. And then later on this year, I also want to complete a pastel Christmas island. But yeah, that's pretty much the plans I have at the moment. I do have a bunch of other ideas, but I am going to try to spread them out a little bit because I don't want to burn myself out with trying to do like 12 islands at one time. Next up, we have some questions on the next Animal Crossing game. So when do you think it will come out? So I think the next Animal Crossing game will come out with the next Nintendo console. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the first games with the console's release, but I don't think we will get another one for the Switch or any of the existing consoles, just for the new console that will be coming out. And then what do you think it will be like and what do I want to see in the game? I definitely want it to be similar to New Horizons because I love this game so much, and they did add a lot of mechanics to this version compared to the other Animal Crossing games in the past. I know I heard some people saying that it could be space, but for some reason I just don't think it will be that because all of the games so far have been like little towns or cities, so I think making a jump to outer space would be so far out, like in left field, and just something that I can't imagine. In my mind, I just picture some sort of town or city since that's what most of the other games have been. One thing I hope to see in the next game would be more dialogue, because New Horizons dialogue is a little stale. The villagers with the same personality types just say the same things, so I think expanding that would be nice and make the game a little bit more interesting to actually play. And then last part of this question, will I still play Animal Crossing New Horizons when the new game comes out? I guess it just depends on what the new game is like. If it's similar to this game with the designing aspect, I'll probably just move on to the new one. But if for some reason they remove the designing part of the game, I might still play New Horizons if I'm still inspired to create islands. But I guess it just really depends on what the new game is like. But I hope that one is just as fun as this one. And who knows, I might come back to this game in a few years and still love it. Next question, what are your top 3 favorite Animal Crossing New Horizon items? And this is such a good question, and I honestly had to think about this one for a while. So one item that I think I have used in all of my islands is the garden rock. I use it all the time and it's just so natural looking, it's such a pretty item, so that is definitely one. And then my next item is probably going to be the barrel. I don't think I've used any on this island so far, but again, I think it's a very versatile item that can work for a bunch of themes. I also like the height of the item and then also the option to add something on top to give it even more height. And the last item, I don't know if you would count this as an item, but I'm gonna say the bandage that my character wears on her face. It's become such a staple for my character that when I start a new island, my character just looks naked without it. So yeah, we have the garden rock, the barrel, and the face bandage. Alright, next question. What are some of my weirdest food combinations? I don't know if these count as weird, but here are a few different ones. I love dipping fries into chocolate shakes. It's such a nice combination of sweet and salty that I love. I am also a fan of pineapple on pizza, and I know a lot of people don't like that one at all. And this last one, I don't know if it's super weird, but I love red wine vinegar on my subs. Like when I go to Publix to get a pub sub, I ask for extra red wine vinegar on my sub. It's such a nice sourness, which is a little odd, but yeah, chocolate shake with fries, pineapple on pizza, and red wine vinegar on my subs. Next up, how many islands have you done? So I have worked on so many islands that I have never finished, but as for finished islands, I have 3 currently. So my first was a kidcore jungle island called Pebble, and then we had Rubble, which was a post-apocalyptic island, and after that I finished Saffron, my dino jungle island, and then we are super close to finishing this island, so almost 4. And after this build, I just need to complete the beaches and then this island will be complete. So basically 4, but really only 3 as of right now. Next question. What made me decide to use a webcam after not having used one for a long time? So I am also a consumer of Animal Crossing content. It's basically all I watch on YouTube right now. And when I watch a stream, I like when I can see the person's reaction to the game. So I wanted to carry that over to my streams as well. And then I also wanted to incorporate the Lucky Cow of Chance wheel on my streams. So that required me to have a face camera because I have a lot of options for weird things for me to wear, like headbands or glasses. And I decided to incorporate the wheel on my streams because I like on Twitch where you can do redemptions if you watch a streamer for a while, and there isn't really anything for that on YouTube, so I thought this was something that will incorporate a little bit more interaction with my viewers on my streams. But as for my videos, my speed builds, and my let's plays, those will still have no webcams. I put out a poll and everyone voted no, basically, so yeah, just my streams will have webcams, and then all of my videos will remain faceless for now. Up next, our question is, who are my top 5 favorite villagers in Animal Crossing? So normal villagers, my top 5 are Cousteau, Scoot, Ruby, Joey, and Bella, and then I'll add NPCs in as well. My two favorites are Leaf and Flick, who are tied for first place. Alright, next question. How do I come up with creative builds? Do I take inspiration from other islands? Well, first of all, thank you. But yes, I definitely take inspiration from other islands, but honestly, I'm a little cautious with looking at other islands of the same theme, because when I go to build, I have a hard time not just copying them, or I just don't want my build to look too similar because then I'm afraid that it will look like I'm copying someone. I don't know, I think it's just the way my brain works. I just get a little bit nervous about that. But I also like to take inspiration from real life. So for example, this build, I'm going back in my memories of what it was like when I was little going to the fall festival in my town. There was a bunch of tents and rides just spread out along a big field. So that's kind of why I have them all spread around with like the dirt path. And then I take that idea and just start placing things around to see the general layout that I like. And then I'll go in and try to add some layering between that. I also love using Pinterest for inspiration as well. For all of my islands, I'll make a Pinterest board with a bunch of codes, some pictures from Animal Crossing builds that I want to make like a similar vibe to, and some pictures for real life inspiration. And then sometimes I like to collect all my codes and make a tiny build, kind of like a mood board build, to get an idea of what I want my island to kind of look like. But as far as like the decorating aspect, I think it's just kind of like a trial and error. I'll try something. If it doesn't come out how I like, I'll just switch it around, and I'll just keep doing that until I find a combination of items and layout that I like. On to the next one. Which island that I've made is my favorite and why? They each have their own special place in my heart, but honestly, probably BooVille, because I've had such a fun time stepping out of my comfort zone and building this island. And I honestly haven't felt an ounce of burnout while creating this island, which is pretty rare for me, so I would definitely say BooVille. Up next, we have a two-part question. So part one, how did you start creating videos? So the first videos I made were playing hard mode, and then I slowly branched out to do speed builds, which is what I wanted to create to begin with. And then once I was done playing hard mode, I just slowly phased out those videos, and everything has just been speed builds since then. And then part two, have I had any islands where I lost inspiration, didn't complete them, and just restarted? And I don't know how to tell you this, but literally so many times. So the one on the top of my mind is my Valentine's Day island called Carnation. It was like a pink springcore island that I wanted to complete before Valentine's Day, and I didn't end up making that deadline, and I just got so mad and deleted it, even though I only had like 10% of the island to go to finish the whole island. But so many times I have started an island and just lost inspiration or got burnt out and just restarted, so I am definitely a chronic restarter when it comes to Animal Crossing. And our next question is, what is a crossover you'd like to see in Animal Crossing? So the two I can think of off the top of my head I would like to see, and one is Squishmallows. If you know me, I have like over 300 Squishmallows on the shelves behind me, so I would love to see some of those turned into Animal Crossing villagers. And then another random crossover I'd like to see is actually Barbie. I would love to see Barbie and Ken as an Animal Crossing villager collab. I think they would be so cute. So our next question, if I could add one more type of fruit or crop, what would it be? And I'll answer both of these. So for fruit, I think having a banana tree would be really cool. I would imagine it looks similar to the coconut tree, but maybe we'd be allowed to plant it in the grass without having to use a square of sand to plant it like in the coconut trees. And then for crops, I don't know if this is cheating, but I think I would really love to see berries. Like when people were modding in strawberry plants on their islands, they are literally perfection and I would do anything for them. And then our last question for the video is, what is my favorite theme to build in? I definitely love all things abandoned and kind of spooky, so Rubble was a lot of fun for me to build. And if I don't want to use my brain and I just want to chill out and decorate, I would probably do some sort of natural island where I can just go crazy with all the trees, shrubs, and flowers. But yeah, that was all of the questions. Thank you to everyone who submitted your question for this video. Right now we are getting close to the end of this video with a reveal of the island, but we are going back in with a few of the spooky items just to pumpkinify this build a little bit. But let's go ahead and take a look at the final build. But that is the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. Before you leave, make sure to give the video a like, comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we are basically done with this island, so the next video for this island will be the DA release and the tour. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends!